Does anyone else love making recipes that you can make in one pot or one pan? I know I do because it helps with cleanup, but then also it's a great option for anybody that has maybe a small kitchen and you don't have a lot of room for a lot of pots and pans throughout your kitchen. Today we're going to make a sheet pan apricot glazed chicken with carrots. And for this recipe, I've already got my sheet pan lined with parchment paper, and I really recommend that you either line it with parchment paper or aluminum foil, because the glaze that we'll be using on this recipe, it'll stick to your pan if you don't line it with either parchment paper or aluminum foil. And I've already put the chicken thighs on the parchment paper. So we've got that ready to go, and I'm just going to sprinkle our chicken thighs with some salt and pepper. And you can just adjust this to taste. Okay, and then just a little bit of pepper. And then we'll add about 1 teaspoon of paprika. And we're going to do the same thing. We'll just sprinkle the paprika on our chicken thighs. And now I'm using chicken thighs for this recipe. You could also use chicken legs or leg quarters. That would also work well. And these are boneless thighs, but you could use bone-in thighs as well. So now that we have our chicken seasoned, we're going to go ahead and work on our carrots now. And I've already washed and peeled the carrots. For these, we're just going to cut them in half lengthways, and then we'll cut them in, we'll slice them crossways. And we want to do about, 1 inch to 2 inches for each cut. And we'll just put those in, just put them around the chicken thighs. And carrots are a really healthy vegetable for us to use with this dish. They have a lot of nutrients like beta-carotene. But if you didn't have carrots or you wanted to try a different vegetable, sweet potatoes or like butternut squash would be other great options to use in place of our carrots. You just would cut those about the same size that we're cutting our carrots. Okay, and now that we have our carrots on our pan along with our chicken thighs, we're going to go ahead and season the carrots. We'll use about 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and we'll just kind of drizzle that over the carrots. And I always think olive oil is a good option. It's a good, heart healthy, neutral flavored oil. And then we will do the same thing like we did with our chicken thighs. We'll go ahead and sprinkle the carrots with some salt and pepper. And again, that's just to taste. You don't even have to use salt and pepper if you don't want to, but you can adjust that to however your family likes. Okay, and now we're going to prepare our glaze. And for this, we will use a half of a cup of apricot preserves. And this can be store-bought apricot preserves or it can be homemade. If you do home canning and you don't necessarily have apricot preserves, but you have like peach jam or something similar, I encourage you to try that with this recipe. I think this recipe is a good reminder that jams and jellies and preserves, they can go on a lot more things than just on bread. So I think this is a good recipe to try some of those that you might have at home. But after our half a cup of apricot preserves, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and then we'll add about 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme. Okay, and then we'll just mix that all together. Okay, and now with our glaze, we'll just spoon a little bit of this on each one of our chicken thighs. Now we don't want to use all of it because we're going to save half of it to put more on our chicken during cooking. Okay, and now that we've got the glaze on our chicken, we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and get the chicken from the oven, and we'll add the rest of the remaining glaze. Okay, and now that we've added the rest of the glaze, we're going to go ahead and add it back to the oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, it's been about 20 more minutes, so now we're gonna check the temperature of our chicken. We wanna make sure that it's cooked to about 165 degrees. And when you're checking the temperature, you wanna make sure that you check the thickest part of the chicken to make sure that you're getting a good reading on the internal temperature. But this chicken is done, so we're gonna go ahead and plate it. And it really does smell good with that apricot glaze. And there we go. That's the apricot glazed chicken with carrots. I hope you'll try it.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.